Hey guys, let's talk about tonight's episode of How to Get Away with Murder. Um, Annalise is crazy. If you are her friend, run. Run away as fast as you possibly can. So we find out at the end of this episode that they are closing in on the forensic evidence that they have found on Sam's body, and it has led them to the woods where his body was burned. They find a ring, and of course, we're all assuming that it's Michaela's ring, but it's not. It's Sam's ring, and it's a ring that Annalise gave him 15 years ago, and there's a fingerprint on the ring. And when they go to do the big reveal as to whose ring it is, you're just like, I don't know, whose ring is it? Is it the sisters? Is it Annalise's? Whose fingerprint is on it? It turns out to be Nate. How does that happen? Because Frank, her assistant, went to his place, stole a fingerprint off of a glass, and put it on the ring. Oh my God. Nuts, okay? So, this whole entire episode, we have seen her group of students just freaking out. They're so panicked. They feel like they're about to get caught at any minute. And she keeps telling them she's going to protect them. She said that in last week's episode. She said it again to Connor in this week's episode. Don't worry, you're better off with me on your side than without me. I can protect you guys. And they're just all having doubts because the police have now come in to check out Annalise's home for evidence, and they're so guilty in looking, like they look so guilty that it's like they're always talking, they're sneaking off, like they cannot hide the fact that they are in on this crime. And she does it. She pulls off this bait and switch. I don't know how she thought of this, but she did. The one person I think that is absolutely hilarious in all of this is Asher, because we all know Asher was not part of the murder. He was with Bonnie the night that Sam was murdered. And all his little offhand comments are hilarious. He's like, oh, do you really think Annalise is going to have the bloody knife under her bed? Ha ha ha. Oh, do they really think Annalise is the one who killed her husband? And like every little snide remark he has, it's sort of like a dig at his team because they are the ones who are so guilty and behind all of this. I just think it's absolutely hilarious. I did like the conversation that Annalise had with Connor because it's like they're all saying all these things behind her back, but it's like, just say it to her face. She knows that you don't trust her and she doesn't blame you, but she just knows that they're better off with her on their side. So there it is. Sam's sister is awesome. She is not backing down when she finds out right off the top of the episode that they have found his remains. She's just like devastated, and then she's like, arrest her, she killed my brother, she's the guilty one, and she's just like not backing down from that. And then we start to get some little bits and pieces of information from Annalise's past, that came from an abusive home, that she's had violent outbreaks in the past, that she apparently witnessed or overheard a fight that Annalise and Sam had where she threw like a paperweight at his head. So they have obviously had a very tumultuous relationship, and we obviously saw the tail end of it and how nasty they could be with one another. But we're starting to get some bits and pieces from Annalise's past, which I think is going to be very interesting when those reveals come forward. At the end of the episode, we see Annalise curl up in a little ball on her bed, and she makes a phone call. First of all, can I just say, who has a flip phone these days? And nobody. So when Annalise, is using her flip phone to call everybody, I was just laughing out loud. But she does. She calls her mom at the end of the episode, and she's like, "Hi, Mom, I need you." And it's like, ooh, who is going to play her mom? That will be very interesting in next week's episode to see. So we also had the case of the week, and yeah, sure, it was a mob. It was a mob boss. His son, who was, I guess, it was a case that was already ongoing, and it was finally coming to trial, and they wanted to dump Annalise as their lawyer because she's being accused of murdering her husband, and she is very determined to not lose this case, and that she's going to do whatever she can to win it, and ultimately she does. There was a really funny throwaway line when the mob boss was talking to Annalise. He's like, so you're single now, so give me a call if you're lonely. He's like, chocolate and Italian wine has always paired well together. I thought that was hilarious. Yeah, so the last thing Annalise needs is another man in her life because clearly the one she was just hooking up with, she threw completely under a semi and has now got him arrested for the murder of her husband. Yeah, it was a pretty solid episode. And the other thing that came out is obviously Bonnie has not been in the know that the kids are the ones who actually killed Sam, but she's not dumb and she's putting two and two together. So she's seeing the kids run off, hide, and not hide, but talk. And she knows that Sam was killed with a blunt force to the head, which was probably a metal object. And she is aware that the scales on the award that those guys always keep passing around was missing. So she goes to Annalise and she tells her that you're not going to get away with this if you continue to dodge the police. The kids are guilty. They're just acting so guilty, and you can't throw your life away for these kids. And we all know that Bonnie had some feelings for Sam, but Sam was a creeper. So I'm not saying he's better off dead, but I'm just saying he wasn't a good dude. But clearly, Frank is going above and beyond the call of duty to help out these kids as well as Annalise. So we know that he already stole, I believe it was Connor's car. He has now planted evidence on Nate. He's just done a lot of stuff to help out this group. We also find out in this episode that Wes is still looking into Rudy. He's trying to figure out why nobody in his family would know that he's no longer living at that apartment, why the scratch marks are on the wall. And it turns out that the Rudy never took back his security deposit from when he left the building. Why would he not do that? And so the tenant or the landlord reveals to Wes that Rebecca is the one that called the cops on Rudy that night because he was screaming and carrying on in a weird way. And so Wes calls her out on this. And, she's a little weird character because I don't really know why everybody's doing all this for her to begin with. Why everyone has lied, why everyone's risked their lives, their futures for this girl. She's really not proven to be a great friend or anything. And her and Wes just started dating. It's not even like it was her girlfriend for a long time. But, so then she's just kind of, I don't know. I don't know why everyone's doing all this stuff for her. I just don't know. And she even says to him, I'll take the blame for this. I know why you're upset. I know that you're scared, but I'll take the blame if you want me to. And if you don't trust me, I'm not going to do all this if you don't trust me kind of thing. Or she's just, and he's like, no, I do trust you. And, all this stuff. I don't know. This relationship is just kind of weird to me. I just don't get it. I just don't get why he's willing to do all these things for this girl that he just met. And she's got so many secrets. So anyway, all right, guys, that's it for me. I did enjoy this episode. Again, Annalise is just nuts. She's such a great character because there's so much about her that you just don't know. And she's aggressive, she's sexual, she's powerful, she's manipulative, she's all these things, and she's just playing it so well. So, and I like that she says, oh, I'm sorry that I'm not grieving the way that you want me to, or, she's just herself, and if you don't like it, it's too bad. So, yeah. All right, guys, that's it for me. I'll see you next week.